Hey, this is Josh with Synchronized Universe. Gonna talk a little bit more today about me. Again, a little bit more about my reasons, a little bit more about my history. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate it. Namaste, my friends. Well, here we go. Have you ever wondered, spent time wondering, who you are as a person, who you really are? This is something I've struggled with my entire life. Like, I have a really, really traumatic, past, traumatic childhood. I've dealt with a lot of various traumas through my adult life, and it makes it really difficult to know who you are when your life has been so full of these things, because you have to heal these things, you have to get through them. And honestly, from the time I was 13 on, I was either smoking cannabis or I was, drinking beer, anything I could to make myself feel happy in the moment. At least that's what I realize now. I didn't realize that's what it was then, but that's what it is. Like, when you have a traumatic past, you have a tendency to seek things that make you happy in that moment. So some people seek sex, some people seek, drugs, some people seek alcohol, anything can be used. Video games, for instance, can be used. And, it goes in cycles. So, like I said, I've been spending most of my life addicted to literally everything and anything I could be addicted to. And, I haven't really sat down and thought about I am, who is me, what is it that makes me tick. So that's the path I've been on now, is trying to figure out what it is that I want to do, who it is that I am, and what is my gift to share to the world. So I've been researching nonstop, just reading book after book after book, and that's also another form of addiction. It can be, but it's a healthy addiction to learn. In any case, I digress. I've been spending a bunch of time just researching and reading all the different meditation practices I can try. And that is one thing that honestly does help, is meditation. I'm not the greatest at it because I have ADD and it's really hard for me to sit and focus. So I tend to use guided meditations when I do it, or I do it when I lay down at night, put on some noise canceling headphones and just try to let myself drift off. And you can experience some, amazing things, a real connection with the divine that way. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people think that meditation is evil, when that is got to be the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, how could that possibly be evil? It was originally taught in the Bible. It was originally intended to be used alongside with religion and spirituality, but teachings are often distorted and twisted and put together to fit in this mold that keeps people in a box, like I said before. In any case, I went off on a tangent there. I'm talking a little bit more about my history. So, I was actually born with hydrocephalus on my brain. Well, not born with it, but it caused it. So I wasn't even supposed to be able to walk. Like, I had to go to the doctor all the time. I remember lots and lots and lots of doctor's visits where they would make sure I was walking correctly or this or that, but cause I was never supposed to be able to. I wasn't supposed to be able to have basic motor functions, anything like that. And here I am today, able to do all these things. But throughout my school life, I wasn't able to participate in lots of contact sports or anything like that because I have this thing in my head. And everybody was always worried if I hit my head that, I could die. Since then, I've hit my head a bunch of times and I've still not died, so all is well. In any case, so it's made me who I am today, but it's also made me feel alienated from other people. So I've always been the odd man out most of my life. Always, I've always felt I didn't fit in with society or anybody else. And as an adult, you realize that, not fitting in or not, fitting in with the rest of society is not really necessarily a bad thing. Like, and then once you really accept like who you are, that you're different, that it's okay to be different is what I'm saying. You'll start to meet people that are like you. Like, once you actually go out and actually start interacting, you'll start to realize that you're essentially, it feels like these people are being attracted to you. Like, I'll give you an example. I started work where I work now, and once I started doing training, I had a coach. And it just so happens that my coach literally is on the same wavelength as me. Like, we have very similar ideals. We have, we're very interested in aliens, ancient civilizations, all that stuff. And it's like, I could have been paired up with anybody, but I was paired up with him. And now we're really good friends. We talk almost every day. It's that kind of thing. You'll meet people. All you have to do is just know that. Just accept that you're different. It's okay to be different. We don't need 1 billion people that are exactly the same and follow exactly the same what these people are doing. We need people who think differently, who act differently, who are able to, fill in the missing pieces that these people don't complete of the puzzle. That's what I'm trying to get at there. Like, it's these different thinkers that make the world go round and make the world a better place. So I may not know exactly what my contribution to the world will be just yet, but I know that I'm going to find it. All I have to do is keep searching. Right now, I intend, I'm trying to focus on being a good dad to my kids and keeping a roof over their heads and, dealing with the stresses that come with life. But, I'm trying to devote as much as my free time as I have to, doing this podcast, for instance, or, trying to talk to my friends or help my friends through whatever problems they're having, or reading books. That's my favorite pastime. Like, the book I'm currently reading is called The Alchemist's Guide to Self... I'll get back to you on that one. Alchemist's Guide to Self-Healing and Transformation. And it's honestly a really, really good book. It combines a lot of different teachings from a lot of various authors that I've read already. It's essentially, telling the story about how we have a lot more power inside of us than we realize. Like, we are connected to the divine. It is not that we have a soul. We are pieces. So we do have a soul, but it's not that like we are separated from this source. We are the source. Like, the source is us. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, God, you want to call it all the other different names. But yes, we are all pieces of this source. And all you have to do is realize that and start thinking and acting and feeling in that regard, and the world will open its doors to you. But many of us are closed off. So that's what I'm trying to focus on, is trying to get past this anxiety that I have all the time about doing anything, this fear, this trauma that I've dealt with my entire life. I just don't want to be that way anymore. I'm tired of it. That's what it boils down to. So the only way to get through something is to take a step forward. You will not get anywhere by staying where you're at. You will not get anywhere by continuing the same exact negative patterns you're doing. You have to change. There's a guy, I believe it's Dr. Bruce Lipton, he says, like, you change your thoughts, you change your life. Like, that's what it boils down to. It's the thoughts you think every day. It's like, for instance, once you catch yourself thinking a negative thought about yourself, like, oh, I'm so ugly or I'm so fat, you change that immediately. You cancel it. I'm beautiful. I'm great. I'm confident. Because your thoughts contribute to creating your reality through the law of attraction. Your subconscious mind is... So, like, the analogy that I've been given when I've read the different books on the subconscious mind is that your conscious mind is like a gardener. You're planting seeds all day long, which are your thoughts, into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind then grows those thoughts and it becomes your reality. This has literally been proven. So like, there's lots of different scientific studies that prove that we are able to alter our reality through our thoughts. That's why everybody's talking about manifestation, manifest this, manifest that. But that's what that means. That's what it means in the Bible when it's saying when you're praying, to believe you already have the item you're praying for. Instead of asking for something, you're supposed to phrase it as though you already have that. So then it's brought into your experience. If you're asking for something, you're admitting that you don't have that item. You need to pray as though you already have it. That's what it's getting at. A lot of people miss that, and that's okay, because a lot of people don't understand the Bible. It literally says it right there. But there's a million different interpretations of this everywhere you go. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on now. Trying to trying to improve myself in any way I can. That's what I'm doing. I intend on either my next episode or the episode after that, to interview my good buddy Ricky. We're going to talk about, he just moved out to Georgia from here, which is sad, but he needs to do what he needs to do. And then we're going to talk about probably the paranormal stuff, because he operates a Facebook page called the Explorers of the Paranormal. He actually has his own podcast as well. I have an admin on this page, and we hope to do more ghost investigations and stuff like that. Probably talk to him a little bit about that. And then I have another interview with a guy that I work with named Scott. He's going to be talking about his encounters with Bigfoot while he was in the military, which is very interesting. He is part of a government task force that was actually actively searching for these things. So the government thinks they're real. So I don't know. I've always been fascinated with, subjects like that. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, etc. Just really interesting stuff, and especially extraterrestrials or aliens, whatever you want to call them. Like, also how the government's now admitting that that these are real, when they've been trying to hide this fact since forever. Now all of a sudden they're real. It's ironic. But yeah, these are more subjects I'll definitely be discussing in the future here. Anyway, I appreciate you listening, and catch you next time.